Obviously, we're not here to talk about last week, so let's make sure that this is about the rivalry. This is about rivalry week. One of the oldest, longest-running rivalries, obviously the longest one outside of a conference. So it's an exciting time. For me, my first. But I've been a part of some big rivalries in my playing days and obviously in my coaching days, and have learned an incredible amount about what rivalries are all about. And I can tell you this, it's not about who's the most talented. It's not about who can scheme up who more. It's really about preparation. It's about practice. And I want to make sure our guys understand that that's what everybody will be fired up for Saturday. Okay, both teams want to win. Both teams are going to be excited. There's going to be incredible emotion and energy, but it's really about the preparation. And then what it comes down to when it gets to game time, because everybody wants to play, it's really about a heart and soul. Who's willing to sacrifice more? Who's willing to fight and scratch and claw for it? Because that's what it comes down to. I know you can say that about every game, but none more than a rivalry game. You know, you can take talent and throw it out the window. You can take records and throw it out the window. It's really about respect. And respect in not just the game, but the entire week and how you go about your business and the mindset that which you have. So with that being said, I guess we'd open it up for any rivalry questions.
Is that the message you give your players when you just told us?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, pretty much. I mean, we put last week to bed and move forward. And I don't know how they've done it in the last 4 years here, how they've done it in the last 10 years here. I know how we go about attacking rivalry weeks. And I know I learned a lot. Like I said, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from, not being real successful as a player in rivalry weeks. I learned a lot more about being more successful during the coaching and just the attention to detail, what it's really about, and really about the respect for it. Being a part of, a great rivalry in the past, it's a rivalry. It doesn't matter. It's about the respect, the preparation, and the mindset to what you have to attack, not just Saturday. Some people, everybody talks about the game. No, it's rivalry week. And I think that's what I want the guys to understand when they walked in here on Monday morning, that it's about the entire week. And we got to make sure we focus on this entire week.
Has anybody told you anything specific about this rivalry?
I've asked. I've studied a little bit over the summer. Obviously, I rely upon Coach Gaduli, Doug Rosfeld, Bouge, guys that are all a part of our staff that played here, that truly have it deep rooted in their blood. So I've leaned on those guys as opposed to just doing a little bit of your history. And we did some stuff in camp, just making sure our guys understand the history of the rivalry, what it's really about, how it came to be such a rivalry, and the things that separate the differences. Because I think that's a big part of it.
Put yourself in the shoes of a Miami player having lost, with Miami having lost 11 straight in this series.
I would never put my shoes or my feet in the shoes of the opponent. So I don't know.
If you were in that situation, how eager obviously you were?
I think it's attention to detail. It doesn't matter. I mean, people want to talk about it. It's, well, you guys have won the last 11, or hey, if you really look at the last 3, I'm not sure we outplayed them in the last 3 games. I mean, that's reality. I talked to our guys about that. The thing about rivalries is what happened last year was last year. Again, that's something that's in maybe their minds or some of our guys' minds. I said, you got to wipe that out because that doesn't matter. You can't look at that. You can't think like that. This is an entire different way of approaching things, and it's about the focus to what it is we do, and not just the game, about the preparation.
The quarterback position, is Ross progressing physically?
Yeah. He took some reps yesterday in practice. So
Do you expect to use him at all?
it's a very good chance. It's only Tuesday, so we haven't practiced yet today. But he got some reps for us yesterday, so I think he's becoming a much more viable option for us maybe this week as far as moving forward as well.
Does that mean Hayden starts?
Yeah, Haynes our starting quarterback. And again, obviously what we all remember are the 2 big plays or negative plays, but there's a lot of other really good things that he's done and how he's managed and the things we've asked him to do.
So by Ross, he will get into the game, he might.
Well, I don't know. The game would dictate that, I'm sure, as well as how he does in this week in practice. A guy's missed 4 weeks doesn't mean even if he's healthy that he's ready to go. Jake Sobko's taking a lot of backup reps. So the ability for him to, still continue to get better, feel better about what he's doing, but also be able to put us in a position where he can be successful and we can be successful based on, how sharp he is and, knocking the rust off of being out for 4 weeks.
Jared Dokes gave you the first last week. Do you expect to utilize Jared more going forward? And as a companion question, how's Mike doing this?
He's doing all right. Again, he didn't go yesterday, but I imagine hopefully we'll get him out there here either today or tomorrow. And Dokes, we've had a plan for him, to be honest with you, all through the spring ball last year. He had, was out a little bit in spring, and then we had a big plan for him going in. It was just unfortunate that, he hurt his elbow 3 weeks ago, so that plan had to change a little bit. So it was finally the first week where he was actually able to, get back in there and do some things for us. So we've always had a plan going along with him. I think his plan will continue to increase as his health gets better too.
What does he offer that maybe Mike doesn't, or how's he different?
You would look at him and think, well, because he's 220 pounds, he's a bigger back, he's going to be more physical, but he still can do a lot of the things we asked Mike to do. He's still a good receiver, as you saw this past weekend. But he does. He gives a little bit of a different punch. And the reality, there's a lot of plays being played out there. And no matter what, on some of those, balls that are thrown, it might look like, well, you guys threw the ball so many times. Yeah, but that running back was running up through the line and getting hit. And he had an option to run, so he's got to take it and go like he's running the football and might be getting tackled and hit. So if you don't have three of those guys throughout the entire season, you're gonna struggle. So we've known we need to get him back. We're excited to have him back. We'll find out. We don't know. We don't know exactly just yet. He twisted his ankle there on the last play of the game.
Miami's quarterback's pretty mobile. He's known as a scrambler, scrapping kind of player. Are you working on things this week to prepare and account for that?
Oh yeah. I mean, we know, obviously know him pretty well. I don't know him personally of any sorts, but watched him play the last 7 games last year, and the first 2 games this year, and know the history of it, and the success he's had as being a winner. So whether you think he can run well or not, or whether they put him in a lot of quarterback run situations, he has an ability to extend the play with his feet, which is what you love in any quarterback.
Kicking competition, where do you stand with that?
We'll continue to compete again this week, and see how it goes, to be honest. And right now, that if you're not the starter, that means you got to beat the other guy out. Kind of I don't know if it's a ladder system, you can look it up. It's kind of how they do it in wrestling. You got to, you kind of got to. You can't just say, oh, I went 9 of 10 and he went 8 of 10, and so that means I'm the starter. No, you got to clearly beat the guy out that has the position. So I think it's it's the way of the world right now, and we're going to continue to have those guys compete and put them under some heat and fire, and it's going to do nothing but make them better and give us an opportunity to be better as well. Last week he had a little sore groin, but that's not going to keep him from kicking.
You go back and watch them last year. What was it about them that changed from losing their first 6?
I mean, you can't pinpoint other than you would say obviously the quarterback, and it's not just the quarterback play, it's leadership, and you can see that you can will some games, and I think that might be the biggest thing is, well, did he throw for X amount of yards, did he scramble for this? No, but they just looked like they had a little bit more confidence, they had a little bit of the it factor, and then as that momentum increased, obviously they played a lot better, and that's what this game's all about. I mean, you could see it from us last week. You got some momentum, everybody feels good. When the thing starts to roll the other way, it's really difficult to stop. And you got to find a way, whether it's in the midst of a game, whether it's in the midst of a season, whatever the situation is. And I think if you really pinpoint it, they did a great job. They capitalized on some momentum of obviously Ragland coming in and getting them some wins and success, and they built upon it.
This rivalry was not a national rivalry like our exhibition, but you grew up in Ohio. Were you aware of the rivalry?
No, I'm not going to lie, not completely. I didn't know a ton about it. But nonetheless, I think that's your job as a coach when all of a sudden you become a part of this thing. And when we talk about extreme ownership, we talk about all in and all the things that we do. That means you're all in. I'm a part of the 1888, the start of this rivalry. So, the good thing is there are some comparisons between our rival now and my rival when I was a kid. You know, my rival when I was a player, and I think of them a little bit in the similar light. So there's, I'd say I didn't know as much about it, but I've done my homework and I've studied about it, and most importantly, I know what rivalries really are about.
Did anyone else come out of the game physical, extreme?
No, I don't think so. I mean, just your normal, but nothing that I think is going to affect us for this week.
A lot of people were excited about the job that Chuck Martin has done up in Miami. Do you have any experience coaching against him? Or?
No, I don't think he was still at Notre Dame. I don't think we played against him. Not that I know of. But obviously, Coach Denbrock, our offensive coordinator, was with him, so they've coached together. So that a lot of I guess not say similarities, but some things that they know each other. But otherwise, no, I don't know him. I don't think I've ever played against him, to be honest with you.
Besides the quarterback, what can you talk a little bit about what else they do defensively?
Well, I mean, defensively, they'd be a little bit similar to us in some of the stuff. They're aggressive. They're going to get up. They're not going to give you easy throws. They're going to press on the outsides and a lot of things they do. Offensively, obviously, they got a big wideout that is accounted for, I think, 2 touchdowns. Last weekend they had, Gardner had 2 touchdowns and the tight end had 2 touchdowns. So both of the guys in the red zone are big targets for him. So they've done a great job at throwing the football. It doesn't mean they don't run the football. You can't throw the football without having some balance. So, they've got a huge target in Gardner, and I think that's where you can see them excel, even all the way back into, the bowl game last year. He was a big threat for him, and you saw that in last week's game with 2 touchdowns and a couple of deep shots to him, as well as the tight end. So, they spread it around, and I think that's where the quarterback gives them the best option, is it's not just like he's just throwing to Gardner. He's got tight ends. He's got 2 tight ends that he'll spread the ball around to as well.
How far is this defense from looking like what you want a defense to be like?
It's getting closer. Again, we're not going to be the same thing that we've always been. I mean, we're not so arrogant as to say that, no, we're going to do it this way. No, we're going to do what our players do best. We have concepts. We have a structure of what we want to be able to fit ourselves around, but we're going to find out what our guys do best, and now there's no substitute for effort and execution and fundamentals, and that's, really what it's all about. And I think that's where we've taken the step to be a little bit closer. Some of the best plays from last week aren't, a minus 2-yard tackle or a sack that Cortez made. Some of the greatest plays from last week were, hey, watch these guys hustle down the field. Watch all 11 guys taking a beeline, taking a pursuit angle to the football. Nobody stand back. We're down. The game's almost out of reach now. In the last 3 minutes, 4 minutes of the game, look at the effort that these guys are running from the backside with. That's what we want to pride ourselves upon, is our defense. Well, are you guys going to stand up your end? Are you going to put him down? Are you going to be a 4-3? Are you going to be a 3? Are you going to be quarter? No, we're going to be a group that believes in what it is that they're doing. They play together and watch them play with some effort. And when they get into tough situations, nobody's dropping their heads. What's the best play of last week? There's a couple pursuit ones. There's a great play of Cortez getting headbutted 3 times and then throwing a personal foul on the guy from Michigan, and he doesn't retaliate. Where all of a sudden in the first game, guess what happened? We got 2 personal fouls, both of which led to touchdowns. Why? Just because we didn't use our head, because we didn't put the team before ourselves, our own egos. So that's the growth that you see, to me, as a team, as a program, as a defense. Are there a lot of things we still need to do, X and O's? Yeah, we'll get to those.